So, ayan, magandang gabi po sa ating lahat, kay Sir at sa atin, sa mga classmates ko. So, our lesson for tonight is using the project-based learning multimedia as a teaching learning strategy. So, makikita po natin sa screen kung ano po yung nandito sa chart. Number 1 po is assign collaborative working groups. Sunod po, present a real-world problem that pupils can connect. Sunod, set the parameters for completing the project. Teacher consultations, input, or feedback. And lastly, final product shared with larger group. So, ano nga ba ang project-based multimedia learning? Project-based multimedia learning is a method of teaching in which students acquire new knowledge and skills in the course of designing, planning, and producing a multimedia product. So, the effective use of multimedia learning project requires is 1 is clarifying goals and objectives, 2 determining how much time is needed, extent of students' involvement and decision making, setting up forms of collaborations, identifying and determining what resources are needed. Sunod, another important thing is to determine the resources available from. Ito po ay nanggagaling sa library materials, community resources, both materials and human, internet, and news media. To trim down time devoted to a multimedia project, use technology students already know, use time outside of class whenever possible, assign skills practice as homework, use special classes as extra time, let student compose text. So, para alam nila. Sa various phases of the project, before the project starts po yan, number 1 is create project and milestones. Describe your project in 40 words or less. Include instructional goals and objectives. Include the project components. Students with the responsible for and their due date. Yan po. Next po is work with the real world connections. If you have people outside the classroom involved as a clients or assessors or evaluators, work with them to make an appropriate schedule and includes their ideas for activities. So number 3, prepare resources. Seek the assistance of your librarian or school media specialist. Number 4, ask the help of technical people. 5 is organize computer files. Yan po. Para mas madaling hanapin pag kinakailangan na natin. Finding files eats most of your time if you are not organized. Naming files and folders after their file type and section title help to keep things organized and make it easier to merge elements later on. So, kailangan po natin na maging maayos or maging systematic tayo para mas mapadali yung trabaho natin at makita natin kung ano yung magiging kulang dahil mayroon tayong tinatawag na due date. For number 6, prepare the classroom. 1 is organize books, printer, papers, and any other resources to students can access them independently. Number 2, make room on the bulletin boards for hanging printouts of student work, schedule, and organizational charts. So, yan. Introducing the project 1 or 2 days. So, help the students develop a big picture to understand the work. The work head, make sure that they will be making who their audience will be and what you expect them to learn and demonstrate in terms of the K-12 K-12 standards and competencies. So tayo po, kung mayroon tayong projects, kailangan muna natin magpakita ng big picture na tinatawag para mas maintindihan ng mga estudyante natin o ng ating mga boss. Ayan, ginagamit na yan ngayon sa pagpapakita ng kung paano ka gumawa ng isang project. Di ba po? So, number 2, review projects documents. Ayan po. Bago mo isalang ang iyong gustong gawin or ipakita sa iyong teacher, sa iyong students, kailangan mong reviewin ng maigi para mas maintindihan ng estudyante mo or ng kung sino man ang gusto mong maging clarify yung expectation nila sa iyo. Yun po. Perform pre-assessment. So, your student can write pre-assessment questions based on your learning goals to further clarify expectation. So, yan po, sa ngayon may nakikita na tayong mga ganyan ngayon. Hindi lang sa school, hindi lang sa office, kung hindi sa mga tindahan na din, sa mga malls, may mga na tayo dyan ngayon, may mga questionnaire, mga assessment na tayo dyan. So, may mga binibigay na tayong pre-assessment sa mga mamimili kung natutuwa ba sila o hindi, kung nasatisfied ba sila sa serbisyo mo o hindi. So, mga ganun po. Perform relevant activities. You can show students anything you can find that is similar to what they will be producing, such as a website or your own mini project you did. To learn the technology, you can also brainstorm for topics, organizational ideas, and design ideas. So, marami na tayong way for mag-create ng ang ating project, di ba? So, pwede tayong tumingin sa ibang mga websites kung paano sa maliit na bagay nagkakaroon tayo ng mas maraming organizational designs and ideas. So, doon tayo sa brainstorming na tinatawag. So, kung ikaw, naisip mo na may kulang ka pa sa iyong project or sa organizational ideas mo, kailangan mo rin magtanong-tanong or mag-research para kahit paano madagdagan or kung paano mo siya mapaganda yung design mo para sa iyong project. O yun. Next natin is group students. Here are some grouping strategies. Number 1 natin ay by topic interest. By topic interest natin, number 1 is by topic interest. So, mag-isip ka ng topic kung ano ang mas magandang topics ng inyong grupo, 'di ba? Sa mga estudyante, kung sino yung magagaling, yung may expertise sa mga talent, kung ano mas magandang gawin, kasi pwede yun maging human project, 'di ba? Yung group na ngayon ay sa nakikita natin yun yung mga yung mga advertisement sa TV. Yun ang tinatawag na group kasi nagdramatize ba sila. And nag-a-act sila kung ano yung mas magandang gawin doon sa project nila. By student choice yon. Randomly, this is fine to enable them to develop the skills to work others. Yun po. So, number 1 is organize materials. Kasi kailangan natin maging organized. To give each group a folder that stays in the classroom. All their group works such as storyboards, group journals, and research notes goes in that folder. Learning the technology, 1 to 3 days ang kailangan yan. Give a chance for the student to work with whatever software and technology they will be using. If some students are already familiar with tools and processes, ask them to help you train the others. If the students are new to multimedia, then begin with lessons that involve using the different media types. Remember, you and your students are co-learners and you both learn as you go. Yun po. Preliminary research and planning. So, man, 3 days to 3 weeks depending on project size. At this stage, students should immerse themselves in the content of subject matter they need to understand to create their presentations. Students can tag and collect information they think might be valuable for their presentations, compiling photograph, quotes, sounds, and other media they encounter in their research. Concept design storyboarding, process of organizing a presentations that is useful to audience. Storyboard is a paper and pencil sketch on the entire presentation, screen by screen, or in the case of wide shot by shot. Here are few design tips to keep in mind throughout storyboarding production. So, yan na. Meron na tayong use can handmade artwork to make a project look personal and to manage scarce technology resources. Student artwork is unmatched as a way to assure a project has heart. Keep clip arts or stamps to a minimum. They make a presentations look can. So, hindi tayo siging lagay ng mga clip arts kasi masyado ng OA or mas nakikita na lang yung clip arts kaysa doon sa pinaka main na attraction na dapat na ipinapakita ng reporters. So, keep navigation. The way user of your presentation will get from one screen to next, consistent throughout the whole presentation. Care for collaboration. Care for collaboration. Check in with your groups to make sure they are collaborating successfully and that conflict is not derailing their productivity. Organize manageable steps. Break down the project steps into manageable daily components, considering that the project requires comparatively more time to succeed. Wag tayo magmadali. Kasi ang gagawin natin dyan, kailangan maging maayos na ang ating pag-deliver, diba? Para mas maintindihan ng mga learners. Check and assess often. This is to ensure that mistakes are seen early enough and therefore can be corrected before final product is produced. So, yun. Kailangan natin mag-ingat tayo sa mga mali para mas maging maayos ang ating final product, diba? Assessing, so mayroon tayong dalawa. There are two kinds of testing. One is functional testing. Means trying all the buttons, taking all possible paths through the presentations, checking for errors, missing images, and the like. Number 2, using testing assessment. Means showing the presentation to members of the target audience and finding out if they can successfully navigate it and understand it. Assessment means critical evaluate. So, yun po. Concluding activities. Way of presenting the project to the audience. You will present to your target audience and celebrate your accomplishments. So, pag naging maayos na, nakahingi na tayo ng advice, lalo na sa ating mga teacher, sa ating mga learners, kasi nagsishare nga tayo ng ideas. So, pag natapos mo yun, mas maging maayos, mas maging masarap sa pakiramdam na yung pagod mo ay naging mas okay, naging mas may tawag dito yung maghapon kang pagod pero na pagdating mo sa sa bahay nyo, alam mong may nagawa ka, may natapos ka, na fulfill mo yung trabaho mo, pati yung ibang tao, naging succeed ka. So, yun po ang tinatawag natin na accomplishment para sa mga sarili natin. So, yun lang guys. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig at maraming pong salamat ulit sir. Thank you po.